Welcome to Tuesday, the last day of September 30th, 2025. Your Day with a Podcast brought to you by the Advocates Injury Attorneys. If you've been injured in an accident, don't face it alone. Get an experienced local Wyoming attorney on your side. Free consultations at WyomingAdvocates.com or call 307-800-1952. You deserve an advocate. Well, we're going to have a little bit of everything, kind of like what we've had over the last couple of days. Some sun, some clouds, some showers, some thunderstorms. So more scenes like you're seeing there in the photo of the aspen leaves and the snowy ranges. We're going to continue to have just a mix of sun and clouds and comfortably warm September temperatures. Enough moisture will be around that some of these very late season thunderstorms will continue to pop up here and there. They'll thin out a little bit tomorrow, more so as we get into Thursday as the air mass starts to begin to dry out a little bit, but not until we have another round of showers and storms. The storm system approaching over the weekend is looking more and more impressive. It's looking colder. We want to give a heads up to hunters in Montana, Wyoming, eastern Idaho. It does look like we are going to be having a bit more in the way of shower and thunderstorm activity and colder air, and possibly more in the way of lower elevation and high elevation snowfall with the system. At least that potential is there, and that's something that we're going to really keep an eye on. We'll have updates as we get a little bit closer, but we'll need to watch the weekend storm system. The pattern, as we mentioned yesterday, as we go into the month of October, looks busier, looks colder, looks unsettled. Last night, the K-index hit 7, and yes, the aurora borealis, really for the last 2 nights, as you'll see here in a moment, have taken place and gotten down pretty far south in lower latitude. Now, we're looking at this time of year where the Earth's magnetic field lines up just right. It's called the Russell-McPherson effect, to where you can have the aurora take place even though you may not have a coronal mass ejection. That's happened here over the last couple of nights, and this time of year, during the fall equinox time frame, this will sometimes happen, and we saw that the night before up in Ennis, Montana. So kind of keep an eye on your space weather, as there may be some other opportunities. A lot of awesome fall photos coming in all across the region again here, and we have these fall colors from eastern Idaho to Rocky Mountain National Park. And as we talked about the blue skies and the red skies this time of year in yesterday's video, we have a lot of that showing up yesterday. Comment was made that that looks like the Denver Broncos colors, kind of does the Denver Broncos sunrise, and then lined up like soldiers up in the Bighorn Basin yesterday of those showers and thunderstorms that popped up yesterday. And we had quite the rainbow show across parts of southeastern Wyoming yesterday. Those showers and thunderstorms came through at just the right time of the day and sun angle to produce a really big, beautiful rainbow. Speaking of beautiful, how's that for a shot along the Green River in Sublette County, Wyoming? Wow. Taking a look at more photos from Colorado. And then that lightning activity yesterday. Jan caught a lightning bolt, kind of hard to do in the daytime, but a great shot there, and a reminder that, yes, even in this late season, lightning is certainly a danger, and these thunderstorms are going pretty late into the month of September, now into early October. So keep the camera handy. We're going to have more vistas and scenes like this here in the days ahead. You can see that thunderstorm getting going in southeastern Wyoming yesterday, then just beautiful sunrises and sunsets again from the North Platte River to Platte County, Wyoming, the North Platte here near Casper. And then in northwest Colorado, beautiful shot there of a rainbow in Moffett County, Colorado, or I think somewhere around that vicinity. And as we go into the next couple of days, expect more of these late day showers and thunderstorms all across Colorado, Wyoming, and the surrounding High Plains region. And they've been pretty productive at producing some measurable rainfall. The subtropical moisture that has surged into the western United States has been helpful, especially in the desert Southwest, the western slope, kind of a late season surge after the western areas, especially west of the divide, really struggled throughout the course of most of the summer season. There's another shot of the double rainbow. It was not only a really pretty strong looking double rainbow, but it hung around for quite a while. It wasn't very fleeting. So as we take a look at the 500 millibar chart, wow, we have a strong storm system there off the coast of British Columbia. As you'll see in a moment, it looks very impressive on the satellite imagery. Here's the tropical activity. Thankfully, it does look like the worst of it is going to stay just off the coast, although the southeast United States will be getting into some heavy rain. But things are looking a little bit more busy. And when you look at the satellite imagery, you see this really well-formed storm system in the Gulf of Alaska. And this storm system is showing a lot of maturity, a lot of strength. There's some cold air, as you can see here on the backside of this system coming on through. And here's some subtropical moisture still available in the west. This is that moisture that's going to kind of hang around and be pesky, producing those showers and thunderstorms. And that's where they're going to be today. That's where the highest likelihood in the green shading for thunderstorms. And you can see tomorrow, as things begin to move around a little bit on Wednesday, the thunderstorm activity is more up near the Canadian border as things begin to move. And here we go. As we get into Friday, that deep Gulf of Alaska storm kind of splits with a piece of energy sliding down into California. But with this, there's a good amount of moisture coming into the Pacific Northwest and the Great Basin as this system comes in. It's one of these situations where the storms kind of split and then they sort of merge back together again by Sunday, as you'll see here in a moment. So as we get on into Friday, we're still in southwest flow, we're still warm, but there's quite a bit of cold air on the backside of that low moving into northwest Canada. Then on Sunday, as this high pressure ridge builds and grows, that dives everything further south. And there's a good push of Canadian air on the backside of the system. Now things could change and the colder air may be deflected more to the east, but right now there's fairly good agreement in the modeling that there's going to be a chunk of cold air coming in out of Alberta and Saskatchewan and Manitoba and up into British Columbia, south into the north central United States. At the same time, this other low feeds moisture into the mix. So you're bringing moisture in from the south, colder air in from the north, and where the two meet, you're going to have weather. Again, we may end up having this shift, so this is not a done deal yet. So we got to put quotes on this, but with hunting seasons really getting going, more people up into the high country, we really want to show you at least the potential for the weekend system having some impacts. If we look at temperatures going from Friday through Monday, you'll see this. Well above average temperatures in the southwest flow, pushing in the warm air from the deserts. So at the end of the week and into the start of the weekend, it's going to be quite warm, but the colder weather comes now into the Great Basin. So this is Friday. This is Saturday. You can see the cold air makes a bigger push eastward, but east of the divide, it's very warm for early October. But once we get into Sunday here, this is Saturday, here's Sunday. Well, Sunday, you can see the temperatures really drop. This is by noon Sunday. The cold front is all the way down into Kansas, eastern Nebraska, heading into the panhandles here. So there's a good thrust of cold, the biggest one we've seen this fall, coming on in. And if you look at temperatures by Sunday morning, look at these lows. These are forecasted low temperatures by Sunday morning. We've got a lot of low to mid 30s in this part of the world right here, even some upper 20s in the higher mountains in northern Colorado. So this is a pretty good looking cold front. As it comes on in, these are temperatures Sunday. These are the temperature anomalies Monday. These are the overnight low temperatures possible Monday morning. So you can see we're getting down into the low to mid 30s in some areas, and we have that moisture and the cold air coming together. Look at this. This is pretty impressive. Now, whether or not this all comes together or not, we'll just have to wait and see. But as the cold air comes in from the north, the moisture comes up from the south, it all converges right around here and even back into the northern Great Basin. So you're going to concentrate the cold air and the moisture together. So we're going to see some potentially Saturday night, Sunday into Monday morning, a cold rain on the plains, snow in the mountains. It may be even cold enough that there could be some lower elevation snowflakes. Now take this with a grain of salt. This is from the European model, but this shows the potential from Saturday through Monday for snow in the Bighorns, Wyoming's northwest mountains, all the way down into the Uintas, the mountains of northern Colorado and southern Wyoming again, even the Laramie Peak area showing some potential for lower elevation snow, or at least those snow levels getting down to 7,000 feet or so, and even a little bit lower, even the Black Hills. We'll have to see. This is probably overdoing it, but we'll have to wait and see. Other models, along with the European, especially the Canadian, are advertising a very similar situation. So the weekend outlook, hunters, especially up here, be ready for some cold, wet conditions this weekend. And as we showed you yesterday, as we get to the end of next week, we have the high pressure in the eastern Pacific, which is a cold signal, and the European sweeps are showing that coming in, and the GFS is further west with the cold, but basically still showing that high pressure in the eastern Pacific, which is going to allow the door to open to Canada. Also, I need to show you this. We have the potential of a tropical system off the coast of Mexico late next week. It's showing up right here. It has a potential to come up into the southwestern United States, making it even more interesting late in the week, next week, and the following weekend. So, lots to talk about and to keep track of. Have a good Tuesday.